Okay, I applied this stain at about 5 o'clock. It's about 12 o'clock now, and so I gotta have a minimum of 8 hours of drying time. And this color is Red Oak, and this is Minwax. So I'm gonna wait until at least tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to attach a couple of wires, and they're going to be attached right here. And then this whole frame is going to be swung out. And this derrick right here, the reason why I'm swinging it this way is I want to get that derrick out of there first of all, and I want to also, on this side, you cannot see it, but behind this frame right up here, there's places all along there that I have to trim. It's a long explanation as to why, but first of all, we're going to put these wires on. Got to get her down to 50 pounds. They got two different readings here on this Goodyear air compressor. I converted it to 220 Minwax. Now this cabinet came from Menards, and I'm going to show that. There you can see some of the color. Yeah, this cabinet came from Menards. It was already manufactured. These panels here, I got two of them, and there's two on the other side. And those I had to make, and those are hardwood, and I believe both of them are ash, and then they are ash on the other side also. I'm kind of in a corner over here on this side, but I believe it'll be okay if I use my left hand to manipulate the sprayer. Okay, now we're going to go over here. This is the spray can that I'm going to use, and this is the type of material that I'm going to use. It's called Deft, D-E-F-T, It's semi-gloss clear wood finish. And this is lacquer. Some people do not like to work with lacquer. The big disadvantage with lacquer is that if it gets a little bit wet, water gets under it very easily, but this cabinet is not going to be in a place where there's water. This is going to be in my dining room. So now we got to open it. I got this little tool a long time ago, and it's very handy. You can open paint cans with it very easily. But if you use a screwdriver to open your paint cans, that's good enough. Okay, now this lid is in perfect shape, and I want to preserve that, so I'm going to put it over here so that it doesn't get full of all kinds of debris and stuff like that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of wood, clean it off. One thing about Deft is that you have to stir the semi-gloss. Now, if this was gloss, you would not have to stir it, usually. But even then, it's better to stir it. So now I've got this clean on this stir stick. So now you have to stir it. And what this does in reality is, when you have semi-gloss, that what makes it semi-gloss is that there is a powder in the bottom of the can, and you have to distribute it evenly throughout the can. And this powder, you cannot tell that it is a powder, but you can add, actually, if you do not have the correct powder, you can actually add baby powder and it'll have the same effect. And you can take any gloss paint and make it into a fairly flat paint by adding baby powder. Now, I have done that before. I don't like doing that. I would rather buy it already mixed. Okay, one of the other issues is that you have to try to keep everything clean. Now, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm just being careful not to get any contaminants into the finish. So now I'm going to take this, and I make sure that the lid is fairly clean. And just to make sure, I'm going to put this back on. I use a flat piece of wood just to put the lid on. Now, you can use a hammer, but if you do use a hammer, you're going to bang the lid all up. That's how I do it. Alright, the next thing, take your air hose. Now, this is conventional, a conventional system. This is not HVLP, which is high volume, low pressure. This is not that kind of a system. This is just an average, regular spray outfit. So now I'm going to spray this, try to get all the dust out. Okay, and remember, I only have about 68 pounds right now. Take your tool, put it up somewhere. All right, take your spray outfit. Now mine has a water remover. I'm going to call it a water filter, and it's screwed into the paint gun, and water collects in here. Now from time to time you got to take this apart and drain the water out of it. I don't see any water in it right now. Okay, so now we're going to take this tool again, open this. This has two ends to it. Has sort of a screwdriver end, plus this curved area to prevent your can from getting dented and damaged. Okay. Put the lid in a safe place where it's not going to get damaged. Take your material and put it in this container. And I put in about an inch, inch and a half. Okay? Now here's the very important part. You got a paper towel. Take this paper towel, put it on the lid, and go around it like this. Try to get as much as you can out of the groove that's right here. Try to get as much of that stuff that's in there, try to get as much as you can out of there. Now, if you leave that on there and don't use this paper towel method to get it off of there, what happens is it's going to glue the lid right on, and you might never get it off. So now we're going to keep on doing that until all the material's removed. Now you can't see in here, but I can see it, and it is fairly well mixed up. Okay? Now if you have a conventional one like I do, you have this front part. Every time I spray this material, I take this and I run lacquer thinner through it. Now you have to use lacquer thinner because this is lacquer, and it tells you on the can what kind of material it is. Now if this would have been polyurethane, then you have to use paint thinner, and it will tell you on the can. Okay, so we're going to take the lid that's clean, and I have a spot here that's a little bit dented, and that goes at the dented part. Take it, tap it down. The reason why I use a piece of wood, it distributes the pressure. Okay, I'll take this, put it over here, take this, put it on here, and in this conventional system, it has a locking mechanism on it. You turn it, in this case, it's going to go clockwise, and then up here, there's a lever. You're going to push this lever. In this case, you're going to push the lever also clockwise. Alright, now we're ready to spray the material, but I want to make sure and just give a quick visual look as to seeing whether everything is ready to spray. I've got the doors open and it should be ready to go. One of the things that is unique to this Goodyear air compressor is that down here you have the regulated pressure that you can press. Now, right now, the regulated pressure is 60, but the tank pressure is 115. Now, if I press this power button again, it will continue to climb, but the regulated pressure is the pressure coming through the air line. And so I like that about this Goodyear compressor. It's somewhat electronic, and it turned out to be a pretty good compressor after I put on this new motor. It's 220. It's an air compressor motor. One of the things you have to do with cabinet work like this is to get this dust off. I've already put on at least one coat. I believe this is after the second coat. So I've put on 2 coats, come to think of it. And one of the things that's important is when you have this dust on here, if you look and I take my hand and go like this, you can see that some of the dust does come off. So what I do, and what you can do, is you can either use a tack cloth, which some guys use that. I just use air because the reason is because this dust, all it is finish. It's this clear gloss, clear wood finish, Deft. And so what I'm going to do is try to get it off, and I'm just going to use my hand. Now you can use a cloth if you want. It's a small room, so I cannot show some parts of this cabinet. Again, if you find any rough spots, go ahead and sand that. Some of these corners are going to need a little bit more sanding. And by the way, what I'm using is 220. 220 fine grit. The reason why you have to sand it between coats is now the Deft can over here, that can says you do not have to sand between coats. Well, that's wrong. You do. Because what happens is with any kind of a finish, and by the way, this was sanded from the factory. Maybe I should have sanded it a little bit more and also checked to make sure that some of the places, like over here, there's a couple places right there where there's glue. and they did not sand the glue very good at all, and they did not sand it especially up in these corners. So I should have checked it. It's supposed to be done from the factory, but well, they did not get it very good. I think there's glue over here. Looks terrible. Okay, so continue to feel it and sand it. I got this cabinet unfinished from Menards, and I did not see any instructions. You probably could go to the website and probably find instructions for it.